Welcome to another F1 news update. Here are the top stories. Jeremy Clarkson launches a scathing attack on Lewis Hamilton. Yuki Tsunoda was forced to take up the Red Bull seat, while Lawson's arrogance is what cost him the seat alongside Max. And the Flexi-Wing saga isn't over yet, warns FIA. Jeremy Clarkson, a frequent critic of Lewis Hamilton, once again took aim at the 7-time world champion following the Chinese Grand Prix weekend. In his The Sun column, Clarkson expressed confusion over Hamilton's dramatic swing in performance from winning the sprint race to getting disqualified. Clarkson questioned how Hamilton's speed vanished within the same weekend after such a commanding sprint race victory. What's interesting and troubling is that a few hours later, having created headlines around the world, Lewis could only qualify for the main event in 5th. He was baffled by the stark drop in pace and Hamilton's inability to challenge during the race. And in the race itself, he was so slow he let his teammate overtake, and then he was disqualified. How is that possible? Clarkson found it implausible that such a decline occurred at the same venue from one session to the next. I can understand that a car might be quick at one track, and the following weekend, at a different track, be useless. But to go from hero to zero at the same track, on the same day, it makes no sense. What do you think about Clarkson's comments? Yuki Tsunoda's promotion to Red Bull Racing in place of Lawson marks a long-awaited milestone in his F1 career, but it was not optional. Though Tsunoda had openly hoped for the call-up, it turns out that even if he had preferred to stay at Racing Bulls, the decision was out of his hands. Due to the structure of Red Bull's driver contracts, it was not something he could have declined even if he wanted to. Red Bull's internal agreement ensures flexibility in driver movement between its teams. Just as Lawson was moved to Racing Bulls, Tsunoda was required to make the jump to Red Bull Racing once the decision was made. On the other hand, former F1 driver Juan Pablo Montoya criticised the ousted Red Bull driver Lawson for his perceived arrogance and lack of results. Montoya suggested that confidence is acceptable, but only when matched by performance on track, something Lawson failed to show during outings in Australia and China. Lawson's incident with Sergio Perez last season, including an obscene gesture, appears to have backfired in the eyes of fans. Now you see them in the same car and he's worse than Perez, Montoya observed, highlighting the performance comparison that ultimately sealed Lawson's fate. Montoya concluded that while Lawson's fall has been sharp, it could serve as a valuable lesson if he remains composed and focused moving forward. What do you think about Tsunoda's forced promotion? After enforcing tighter rear-wing tests in China, the FIA remains cautious but firm in its push to curb rear-wing flex, which has become a critical loophole in F1's ground effect era. The governing body confirmed that 4 or 5 teams had to make changes to comply with the updated technical directive introduced in Shanghai. FIA single-seater director Nicolas Tombazis explained the decision to act swiftly after winter testing revealed that initial countermeasures weren't enough. China, of course, had very long straights, and I don't think anyone would be talking about anything else if we hadn't done it. So that's why we thought it was best to get decisive, Tombazis stated. While static deflection tests remain the legal benchmark, the FIA confirmed it is now correlating those results with onboard footage to detect any signs of hidden mechanisms or non-linear tricks. We take the view that a car that complies with FIA tests is fundamentally legal, unless there are some hidden mechanisms or things relying on non-linear characteristics, temperature or what have you, in which case we would intervene, Tombazis explained. FIA is also set to impose new front-wing limits in Spain. Tombazis defended the delayed rollout as a fair compromise, noting, "Front wings cost a lot of money. We felt saying something in December for the start of the season was a bit too harsh, and it was better to delay it a bit." What's your take on the FIA's approach to the Flexi-Wing controversy? That's all from this F1 update. Which stories caught your eye? Comment down below. And if you enjoyed this F1 update, don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video.